Hello, I'm Siddiqui, and you are watching my YouTube channel and Facebook page. I'm going to speak to you today about how the 3 fingers out of the 4 fingers can cling together, just like you was looking at the palm on the picture. And you will see that the fingers A, B, and C will tend to keep together and leave the other finger. I mark D to be independent of its own. Now, this is a very powerful sign. And so if you have this sign, celebrate a lot, because you are one of those chosen people who is going to be extremely rich, extremely powerful, extremely popular, but also somewhat a bit stingy, somewhat dominating, somewhat arrogant, and completely independent of anybody. There wouldn't be anybody on the world who can put you under their thumb, if you have this formation. Now, when you have this formation, it can mean many things. So let's go step by step. Let me first talk to you about the finger. This is called the sun finger, and the longer the finger, the better if it's too short. It means you will be deprived of fame, deprived of fortune. And even if you get these things, they won't last very long now. If you have a finger which is around, as you see on this picture, on the palm is normal, but if you have a finger A, which is as long as the finger B, that shows a determination to be on top of the world in recognition, in finances, in popularity. And it also shows a person who can be very speculative financially. I've seen many gamblers who go into the area of gambling or financial speculation, like the stock market or Forex. They have this formation of the finger A as long as the finger B. Now, if the finger A is longer than the finger B, that is definitely a risk taker, a very high risk taker. Let's talk of the finger B. The finger B is called the finger of Saturn. And this finger produces wisdom, produces longevity in life. It also produces the possibility of you being very scholarly with many degrees of university. So it's got to do a lot with wisdom. And as you see, the length of it in this PAL print that you're looking at, it's quite normal. In fact, the finger B should always be the longest finger. All right, now let's look at the finger C, which is called the finger of Jupiter. And it's all about money and power and politics and wanting to lead even the country. So when a person has a long finger C, he becomes extremely ambitious in these areas are mentioned. This is quite a common palm that you are watching at the length of the finger C, but let's imagine that the length of the finger C is longer than the length of the finger A. Here we see a person who is extremely dominating, bordering on being a dictator, bordering on a person who loves control, a control freak, a person who is very determined to take the lead in everything, has great business context as well. And now let's imagine if the finger C is as long as the finger B. Now this shows an extremeness of a person who cannot work with other people, a person who only knows how to lead. He or she has got to be the leader. And this can be a problem in partnerships. It can be a problem in areas where any kind of compatibility is needed, even in sport. If you find that your tennis partner has a long finger C as long as a finger B, you are in trouble, because that person would be a perfectionist. Okay, now let's go down to the signs on which finger does it make stronger? The lines and the signs shown. Now look at this line, which have marked I under the finger B. Now that is called the line of Saturn. And normally when you see a palm like this, you will see a very long line of Saturn, because it shows ups and downs. Yes, but it shows a long carrier. And this person will be in pursuit of it long term to make sure that he or she rises to the pinnacle of it. Now let's look at a line which I've marked H. That line is under the finger A, now in a hand like this. That line must be seen. And this finger is all about fame and recognition and wealth, and the desire to be honorable in whatever he or she does, and also to shine like the sunshine so that people can adore him or adore her. All right, the owner of this palm. And then let's look now at the under the finger C. Look at under the finger C. I've drawn 3 black lines there. These lines are the lines of Jupiter. You don't need to have all 3 lines like this. Just one will do now. Among them is G. So if you have any of these lines, they can start from the line F, which is called the lifeline. That means very early progress, or very lucky ability to find success. Quite L, quite young, then should be there. I've drawn a line called JJ. Now you look at that line, it's called the line of Mercury, and that starts from under the finger D. even that has to be seen on a hand like this. You see a hand like this must have all these lines. If any of these lines are missing, that particular finger becomes weak. Okay, that where the line is missing. So this line called the line of Mercury, which I have marked as J, is under the finger D. The finger D is called the finger of Mercury, all about mentalness and all about money and career and business and finances and corporations and big things. Like that now, if you have a nice long line which have marked J, then you are going to be extremely lucky. You're going to be extremely lucky in the sense that you will have a long, good history of being in the field of commerce and industry. And you will be noted as a person who is very active in the stock market, in the Forex, and looked up to, because this line also brings fame. And by the way, I also consider this line, which I marked as J, as the line of intuition. Now, many of you will have this line, but it is broken and scattered all over the place. Don't worry, in matter of time. The fact that you have already this poor line of Mercury in a matter of line, that line will formulate and get closer to together. And when it gets more into a single line, it will do it that way. You will one day see it's gone to a single line, and that's extremely very good for you. It shows focus into really what you want and the ability of very high rated success. Okay, well, there you are. This is a beautiful hand with a B and C fingers together. And I've given you an example of Simon C. And if you have this finger D separated, it shows financial freedom. Financial freedom means a person who is a one-man show or a one-woman show who must control everything in the area of commerce or industry that this person is involved in. It can also mean sometimes impatience and hastiness and a tendency to be argumentative as well. Okay, because the finger D and Mercury goes by itself. That means it works on its own. It's a very independent person in Mark X. All right, I hope I've been helpful to you, and I look forward to giving you more of these little tips. Until then, thank you and goodbye.